night. Fold your dark arms above me. Protect me in your black embrace. I sit alone, in impotent exile. Was this force, this presence, returns to torment me. Enter! Blix, come closer. Are you not the most loathsome of my goblins?
Truly, master.
And is your heart black and full of hate?
Black as midnight, black as pitch, blacker than the foulest witch.
Something troubles me. I feel a presence in the forest, a force I had mercifully almost have forgotten.
Must be dread indeed to trouble you, lordship.
Looking upon these frail creatures, one could not think they could contain such power. One could rule the universe with it. You must find them for me, and destroy them!
What do they look like, Lord?
Fool, let this serve to remind you. The creature is crowned with a single spiral, reaching like an antenna straight to heaven.
I get the point, Lord.
Bring the horn to me.
Where should I look, sire?
There is only one lure for such disgusting goodness. One bait that never fails.
What be this bait? Please, you teach me.
Innocence. Innocence. So yeah, we're going to talk about Legend today. Legend was released in 1985, written and directed by Ridley Scott. And that's right, Ridley Scott, the guy that brought us Alien and Blade Runner, made a fantasy film. And that you probably have not seen or heard of. And that's a shame. So what is Legend? Legend is about a princess who is being taken to see the remaining unicorns from the love of her life, Jack. He's a force child, and he's played by Tom Cruise. And Tom Cruise is, yes, in this movie. And what they don't know is that the Lord of Darkness, played by Tim Curry, has sent his goblins to murder the remaining unicorns in the land, so that darkness can once again reign. I love this movie. I'm a huge sucker for fantasy films and anything of that. I mean, Lord of the Rings, to me, are the greatest films ever made. So, Legend is a fantasy film that a lot of people don't talk about. In fact, it's very hard to really find a really good fantasy film. Legend is that. And why is it not as big as what it should be? Well, a lot of it has to come with the fact that it came out at the wrong period of time, I believe. Ridley Scott had just come off of making Alien, he just made Blade Runner, and several other films. But Legend was something that people didn't think that they'd see from him. So it kind of died away. Tom Cruise has actually distanced himself from the movie, which is a shame because it's not an embarrassment. There are great qualities about this movie and the detail and the way it was filmed. And it's a shame that it isn't as big as it should be. The one thing I can really say that is perfect about this film is the practical effects, the practical set. Ridley Scott is no stranger to using practical effects on his films. When you watch Alien, when you watch Blade Runner, you know those places are real and you're submerged into it. It makes it easier for the actors to react to their surroundings instead of staring at a green screen. So Legend is just like that. The forest that they are in is all on a set. In fact, it caught fire, and thankfully they were able to continue. Lord of Darkness' lair, this hellish landscape with the swamp in front and all that, it is just terrifying. The interior of his hell home with the giant statues all over, the giant dance hall, the mirror, the dining table, everything. I could go on all day about how the practical effects look in this movie, the practical sets. Just everything is gorgeous. There are scenes that you can take from this film and print it out and put it up on your wall. If you're into fantasy films, this movie's got it all for you. It's got the action. It's got the fairies, it's got the goblins, it's got the demons, and it's got Tangerine Dream. Well, for the theatrical cut. Which, there are two versions of this film that I know of. There's the theatrical cut, and there's the director's cut. The theatrical cut is the version that I watch anytime I watch Legend. There's no reason not to watch the theatrical cut. The director's cut is usually, it's kind of funny, because whenever I really want to watch a movie, if there's a director's cut, I'm watching it. I like the longer version. I like to see what was taken out. This is the different kind of movie, where the director's cut is longer, but the soundtrack is all orchestrated, which there's nothing bad about that. But what I grew up with was the theatrical version with the Tangerine Dream soundtrack. And it is perfect. It's another perfect thing about this incredible, underrated fantasy film, is Tangerine Dream's beautiful soundtrack to this film. Tangerine Dream, if you don't know who they are a huge band that was doing a lot of scores for films. In fact, if you've ever seen Risky Business, they did the music for Risky Business, which is another perfect movie. And if you've played Grand Theft Auto 5, they did the score for that game too. So I'm sure at some point in your life you have heard Tangerine Dream. And I'm obsessed with their music. Also, if you watch the theatrical version, you get the Tangerine Dream soundtrack. It just makes the movie that much more special. And also, they may be cheesy, but Love by the Sun and Brian Ferry's Is Your Love Strong Enough really make this movie just all the more better, and I love those songs. Legend has its faults, of course. Every movie has their faults. But Legend's fault is mainly the fact that it doesn't really have a world. We don't know where we are, and we don't know who these people are. We get the very basic aspect of Jack, the forest child, or we get the very basic that she is a princess and that she should be with her people. And that's basically it. And darkness just wants death and darkness. And we get nothing else. And I feel that is a major issue with the movie. Is it important? Not really. No, you don't really need that for this movie, because with it being a fantasy film, it's also kind of small. And I think they do well with what they've got. The acting is fantastic. Just Tim Curry's performance as Darkness, he becomes Darkness. He is terrifying. There's an ounce of who he really is shown in that character, that he becomes Darkness. And it's an incredible performance, and I just say, watch the movie. I love this movie so much. I've loved it since I was a kid, and I will always love this movie. I think it is one of the greatest fantasy films. I think it's one of Ridley Scott's best movies. And the fact that it's so underrated is a real damn shame. I will give Legend a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you everybody who's watching this video. I'm very excited to make these and keep going on, and I just hope that you like, subscribe, and share, and let's build this community. I'll be talking about, I really want to get into the Kevin Smith films because they're very important in my life, and it'd be a lot of fun to talk about. So thank you so much for stopping by and watching this, and I hope you have a good day.